A world full of differences. Look around you. Different faces, different languages, different beliefs, different dreams. We live in a world shaped by differences. Differences in culture, opinion, background, and experience. And yet, for all our progress, these differences too often become walls instead of bridges. They divide neighborhoods, communities, families, and even hearts. But what if differences were never meant to separate us? What if they were meant to teach us? What if every difference carried the potential for deeper understanding? Today, we're not here to talk about ignoring differences or pretending they don't exist. We're here to talk about turning differences into understanding, because understanding is the foundation of peace, growth, and true human connection. Difference is not the enemy. From a young age, many of us learn, directly or indirectly, that different means wrong, dangerous, or less than. Different opinions make us uncomfortable, different cultures confuse us, different lifestyles challenge our assumptions. But difference itself is not the enemy. Fear is. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of losing control, fear that our own beliefs might be questioned. Yet growth has never come from comfort. Every breakthrough in human history began when someone dared to see the world differently. Diversity is not a weakness of society, it is its greatest strength. When we reject difference, we reject opportunity. When we embrace difference, we unlock wisdom we could never access alone. Understanding begins with listening. Understanding does not begin with speaking, it begins with listening. Not the kind of listening where we wait for our turn to talk, but the kind where we genuinely want to understand another person's story. Everyone you meet is carrying a history you cannot see. Every belief has a reason behind it. Every behavior has a story. When we listen deeply, we move from judgment to curiosity. We stop asking, "Why are they like that?" and start asking, "What happened to them?" Listening is an act of humility. It says, "I may not know everything," and that single realization has the power to transform conflict into connection. Empathy is the bridge between difference and understanding. Empathy does not require agreement. It requires imagination. It asks us to step into someone else's shoes, not to judge the path they're walking, but to feel the weight they carry. When we practice empathy, walls fall, labels fade, people become human again. Empathy reminds us that beneath different accents, different opinions, and different beliefs, we all share the same core desires: to be respected, to be safe, to be valued, and to belong. When we recognize our shared humanity, differences no longer threaten us, they enrich us. Conflict as a teacher. Conflict often gets a bad reputation, but conflict is not the problem. How we handle it is. Conflict reveals what matters. It exposes misunderstandings. It shows us where growth is needed. When handled with respect, conflict becomes a powerful teacher. It forces us to examine our assumptions and refine our communication. It invites us to move from winning to understanding. Instead of asking, "How do I prove I'm right?" ask, "What can I learn here?" Every disagreement holds a lesson, if we're brave enough to look for it. Breaking free from labels. Labels are shortcuts for the mind, but they are prisons for the soul. When we label people, we stop seeing them. We reduce complex human beings into single stories. But no one is just one thing. No one is only their opinion, background, or mistake. Understanding grows when we replace labels with conversations, when we choose curiosity over assumptions, when we see individuals instead of stereotypes. The moment you truly see someone, not as a category but as a person, you create space for connection. Cultural differences as wisdom. Every culture carries centuries of wisdom. Traditions, values, and ways of seeing the world are not accidents. They are survival stories passed down through generations. When we dismiss cultures different from our own, we lose access to that wisdom. But when we approach them with respect, we gain new perspectives on family, community, resilience, and joy. Cultural exchange is not about abandoning your identity, it's about expanding it. It teaches us that there are many right ways to live, love, and lead. Understanding cultures deepens our appreciation of humanity itself. The courage to be open. Understanding requires courage. It takes courage to admit you might be wrong. It takes courage to ask questions without defensiveness. It takes courage to change your mind. But growth has always demanded courage. Being open does not weaken you, it strengthens you. It shows confidence in your values and trust in your ability to grow. An open heart is not an unguarded heart, it is a wise heart. When we choose openness, we choose evolution over stagnation. Small actions, big impact. Turning differences into understanding doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small, everyday choices. Choosing kindness in conversations, asking before assuming, respecting opinions without attacking, learning names, stories, and traditions, speaking with honesty and compassion. These small actions ripple outward. They change families, they heal workplaces, they transform communities. Never underestimate the power of one respectful conversation. It can change a life. Building a future of understanding. Imagine a world where differences spark dialogue instead of division, where disagreement leads to discovery instead of destruction, where understanding is valued more than being right. This future is not a dream, it is a decision. It begins with us, with how we speak, how we listen, how we respond to difference. We don't need to think the same to move forward together, we need to understand. From division to unity. Differences are inevitable, division is not. When we choose understanding, we choose connection over conflict, wisdom over fear, and unity over separation. Let us be the generation that turns differences into dialogue. Let us be the voices that choose empathy over ego. Let us build bridges where walls once stood. Because when we understand one another, we don't just change conversations, we change the world. Thank you. And remember, understanding begins with you.